Good morning. This is Mark Sebastian, and this is the Option Pit Vol Report Reminder. This is for education purposes only. Shouldn't be considered investment advice. Options have risk. Consult a financial professional with questions. All right, well, here we are. A little more trade tension-y today. If you look, the market doesn't look exactly great today. You've got Apple up, but Amazon is getting slammed. The Supreme Court just came out and said that states can force sites like Amazon to collect sales tax. That's a big win for traditional retailers, for mall retailers, for a lot of the Walmart types, Costco. I mean, take a look at what Costco is doing. It's up nicely. Walmart's looking up. It's a nice win for Walmart. Amazon will be fine. They will be, but there are some stocks that already have dubious futures, like OSTK and Wayfair, where this could be a real problem. You can see Wayfair is already getting smoked. Any of these direct online ones, this is bad news for the kind of the weak balanced on online names. Nordstrom looks okay. So it was a nice win for traditional retail and kind of a lose for the internet retailers that were kind of, I'm not saying give it a pass, but, if you look at it, let me get this straight. So if I buy it from the local store where they're employing people that live in my town, it's taxed. If I buy it from a warehouse where it's shipped from who knows where, then I don't pay tax. When you think about it that way, it kind of makes some sense. Now, we are seeing some other things driving the market down. The Dow looks really soft. Why? Well, same culprits. DE, Caterpillar, some of the defense names are down. Boeing, Boeing was just an unstoppable force. Got completely overbought and is now kind of finally giving a little back. I mean, look at Boeing. It's got plenty to get back to the 50 days. So Boeing could continue to be a little softer. Apple looks continuing to be a little stronger today. And really, I think VIX is overdone. I think you're going to see the VIX back into 13s by the end of the day. Probably, I wouldn't be shocked 12s. We've seen this story before. Now, we didn't open down, which is unique. We sold off midday. So not certain there's a full turnaround. The other thing that makes this day feel a little softer is that, all the days where we've gotten a turnaround, the Russell 2000 has been really strong. Today, it is the weakest of the names. All right, why? Well, remember, it's an oil name. It is very oil-centric, and take a look at XLE. It's down 1%. Why? More oil coming. Saudi Arabia wants to put 1 million barrels of oil into the system. You can see, oil's pretty flat, but that's maybe not as great for some of the energy names. All right, other things that are moving, you can see bonds, and bonds are the other thing that IWM is heavy on is, small banks and small and mid-cap banks, and you can see that bonds are continuing to get stronger, and that is a pretty good sign that IWM is going to be down. Now, to be fair, look at a chart of IWM. That thing was completely off to the races. Today's the first down day in a very long time. But, it doesn't feel like we're going to get a lot of market relief. Certainly not from the players that have rescued the market in the past. The NDX and the IWM, which have been really strong, are taking on the chin. Meanwhile, the S&P appears to be the strongest. So, do you see some strength in, so is VIX probably up a little too much? Probably. But, we've got some strength in VIX and VIX futures and things like that. So, as I evaluate the marketplace, today's day, today looks like it could not be a day where we get that big buy the dip. Now, will that change? I would be less than shocked if we get the buy the dip. However, if there's a day where we actually melt and they sell it instead of buying it, I would say that the setup is there for today, better than it's been every day since Friday when we've had these kind of weird days. So that's kind of my interpretation of kind of the overall market and where, I don't know, the volatility I think it's already kind of a little overbaked, which is maybe a sign that we don't get a huge move. But I just don't see I don't see the things that have made the market really strong today. But that could change. All right, folks. Like I said, today looks like if I had a bet, I think we stay red today. I don't think it's maybe not as red as we are today, right here, but with IWM and NASDAQ both looking weak, if there was a day for things to be soft, it's today. All right, folks, have a great morning. I will be on at 11 for my students, and we're going to talk VXX today. All right, everybody, have a great morning.